It is Tuesday, October 14th, a cold, windy, rainy day here in San Francisco and in Northern California, but it's great to be back with you. Had the boys for Columbus Day at home yesterday, so we weren't able to do our routine, normal 11 a.m. get-together here, so welcome on back. It is great to have you here. Like and subscribe, my good friends, if you would, please. And let me tell you about my boy Ikes before we go into today's show. I don't know what you're doing for lunch this afternoon, but I hope you're doing it with Ikes. My man Ikes has been doing it now for almost 2 decades. Look at this. He's about to turn 18 years old on October 31st. That's when he opened up Ikes all those years ago. My man has got an unbelievable sandwich just waiting for you. Go ahead and find out for yourself. Get yourself to Ikes, and if there isn't one near you, hopefully there will be one soon. You know, there's only one Dubliner West Portal in San Francisco. It's the Dubliner on West Portal. And you can take a train. You can take Muni. You can take your time when you get there. No one's in a rush at the Dubliner. Have a great time. My kind of bar, my kind of crowd, my kind of people. It's where we just had our Plus Mania. Love you, Kenny. Love you, John. Love everybody at the Dubliner. Thanks so much to them. We're going to be watching some Warriors games there this year. I don't know what you're doing for Sunday Night Football. Niners are going to have a pretty game Falcons team coming in on Sunday night. Maybe you watch that at the Dubliner, but it is great to have them when it comes time to making a few plays. Oh, our friends at Sleeper are certainly the place to do that. It is America's, it is the world's fastest growing fantasy site. Live chat with your friends. Automatic updates, everything that's happening, parlays everywhere, season-long live fantasy leagues. I mean, it is really something else. An incredible user interface. And right now, when you sign up on the link that is right there at the top of the description of this video today, you will find that you can get a $100 deposit match on your first deposit up to $100. And right now, you don't even need to deposit anything. Sleeper's got $20 for you to play with, just waiting for you over in the Sleeper universe right now. So get yourself to Sleeper and find out why it is the world's fastest growing fantasy site. It is fantastic. You're going to love some Sleeper. I promise you that. I love it. It's fun. It's fun. I'm making non-Niner Monday night, Sunday night, playoff baseball, little parlays, little, throw $10 on this, $20 on that. It's been an awful lot of fun. It really has been. Of course, be responsible. Okay, so the responsibility of Fred Warner now has nothing to do with getting the 49ers through game day. Fred Warner's responsibility is getting himself back on the football field as quickly as he can. He is scheduled for ankle surgery. I believe that is happening today, if not later this week. And he is already talking about legendary rehab. You got to love the guy's attitude. Fred Warner is bringing the same heart and soul approach to this devastating injury for him, the arc of his career, the arc of this 49ers season. There is no good that comes out of the Fred Warner injury, but he is trying to spin it as positively as possible. And God bless Fred. I mean, this is why this man is a captain. This is why he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. This is why he is a leader. And this is why the 49ers there's the player that they're going to miss. There's the voice that they're going to miss. There's the leader that they're going to miss. There's the tackler that they're going to miss. There's the sure thing, the guy who's going to clean it all up with a mop whenever we spill on aisle 9. There's Fred Warner with a mop cleaning up all of our mistakes. The 49ers are going to miss him terribly. And there really is no replacing Fred Warner. We talked extensively about some trade options and what that could look like. And, will the 49ers be throwing future assets on chasing a season where, getting back to Fred's word, legendary may now no longer be available for the 49ers. And there's an argument that legendary really wasn't on the table for them to begin with. We could do that again. We could relitigate that if you want to. I don't want to right now. I think we all know how we got here. So let's forget how we got here. Let's talk about where this team is and what they've got left in front of them. Because there are a few things out there in just the world of the NFL that are keeping the 49ers in play. Even though the Niners are trying to do everything from a, their own roster getting injured standpoint, even though the 49ers are trying hard to eliminate themselves from real contention with these freaking injuries that are just stacking up in ways that are just befuddling. I mean, it really is. But there are a few things keeping the 49ers in play. And that's what we want to talk about here today. As Fred Warner goes off for his legendary rehab, you know what would be even more legendary is if this team figured out a way into the postseason and made a run without Nick Bosa or Fred Warner. And it's still out there, kids. It is out there. I see an awful lot of, negativity in the chat. And I'm not going to rob you of your negativity. I know you want it when things start going well, or things start going poorly. You want to get angry. I'm not going to take it away from you. I'm really not. We got, we got Knifey Boy 82. Niners are cooked. The Niners are in worse shape, certainly, than you ever would have hoped. But cooked is something they're not even close to being. The Niners are not cooked. The Niners, in their current status, with everything going wrong, remain one of the few teams to keep an eye on in football. Whether you like it or not, that is their reality. It still is. And I'm telling you, what is breaking the 49ers' way, there are some things out there that are officially breaking in this team's direction. Number one, they got good coaches. Like Kyle, frustrated with Kyle, he's pretty good. So you got a good head coach. You have Robert Saleh back in the room. If there were anybody I would want performing, in the theater of war triage on all of these freaking injuries, it would be Robert Saleh. So I think that you got the right hands on the switch. It's some of what the 49ers are going to actually be offering in the concept of getting healthier. Kittle, Jennings, Purdy coming back into the mix. Hopefully that all makes this offense go. And this offense, given this defense a little bit of a break, is now mandatory, non-negotiable. It has to happen for the remainder of this year. The 49ers schedule continues to be their best friend. This Falcons game looks a little tougher than it might have. The Carolina game that's coming up looks a little tougher than it might have, but it's still an incredibly favorable schedule for this team to negotiate. They've done a pretty good job doing it so far. But the number one reason why the 49ers are not cooked, the number one reason why they remain in a conversation, where that conversation goes, I don't know. I don't even care. At this point, all you want to be is in the conversation, and I think they will be, because there isn't a loud voice in the room drowning a single franchise out. Kids, did you watch Monday Night Football? Monday Night Football might have been called, here's 2 games to prove how wide open this whole thing is. Falcons win, beat the Buffalo Bills. The Chicago Bears with Jake Moody, and we'll get to that in a second. The Chicago Bears beat the preseason darling Washington Commanders. This league is wide open. There isn't a single great team out there. Not one. There isn't a shred of that team has greatness written all over it, meaning all you got is a handful of really good. And every really good team can beat any other really good team in this league in any one game. We know that. There's nothing to even explain there. You know that too. You know that. You know that the 49ers can win games all banged up and fucked up because you watch it happen more often than not this year already. This is not over. We haven't even kicked off week 7. You haven't even been trick-or-treating. Where this all goes, how it ends, is this your Disney movie? Are you going to get that Super Bowl? Probably not. but it doesn't mean you can't enjoy the ride. And there's still an awful lot of riding to do in the 2025 football season. And if you really want to be the person who's already just determined to start looking ahead to next year, okay, well, then keep a really good eye on Michael Williams and Alfred Collins and Upton Stout and CJ West and Jacob Cowing if he ever gets involved in this season, and Ricky Pearsall returning and hopefully not getting re-injured. And let's see if Dominic Pooney can pull up a little bit out of the nosedive. If you want to watch this team purely through the prism of what's it going to look like next year, you can do that. And guess what? While you're doing that, I think this team is going to accidentally win a few football games along the way. So if you want to give up on the 49ers, you go right ahead. You go right ahead and give up on the 49ers if that is going to make your year go by happier or faster. To me, that's not the way I watch professional sports. There's a job to be done here. In professional sports, again, the key word isn't sports there. The key word is now professional. And sometimes being a professional means you're going to get up and go to work even though you know it's not going to be a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, that is the working definition of professional. Even though I'm not getting any enjoyment out of this, it is a job. The Niners have a job. The job is to go out and compete the very best they can to win every single football game that they're in, regardless of injury. And you know what? I think they're just still good enough to fall into 5-6 more wins just doing that the rest of the year, even though Fred is gone and Nick ain't coming back. They're still winning 10 games. I still think they could win 11. 12 is not out of the question. And I will also grant you that Bijan Robinson, who ran for 170 yards on Monday Night Football, one of the games last night, caught another, 6 passes for 68 yards. Bijan Robinson should have 250 yards of offense against the 49ers. He was unbelievable. He is going to be a handful for them. I am worried about Bijan Robinson until Tatum Bethune is actually out there tackling him. I'm not going to believe anybody on this team is going to tackle him. You could lose to the Falcons for sure. Penix was very efficient. Drake London had a 10-catch game. Falcons just beat the Bills. They handcuffed Josh Allen in a pretty good offense, kept the Bills under 300 yards. But you know what you're getting back? The perfect guy for the situation. Hey, diddle, diddle. It's so good to see you, George Kittle. George Kittle is exactly the prescription of more cowbell that this song needs. He is. If this is indeed George Kittle tracking to play on Sunday, his return, him throwing one leg over the horse and getting out of the saddle and tipping his white cap, he is the cowboy riding into town that I think makes things better. And the timing could not be perfect. Again, this is exactly who they need at the time that they need him. He's going to bring, I think, some life into a passing game that, in spite of itself, has some life. He will definitely breathe some life back into a running game that could use some CPR. And then there is the concept of this guy being a cheerleader who actually puts on pads and helmets and goes out and plays. I don't blame any single 49er out there for having a dauber down week. It is a dauber down week. If I hear one more 49er describe Fred Warner as the heart and soul of this football team, I think I'm going to scream. You know, your heart and soul has been eliminated. Your heart and soul, your queen on the chessboard, moves in all directions player, absolutely had embarked on a defensive player of the year campaign. Losing Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, it is devastating for sure. Everybody's daubered down. Everybody's upset. I'm not a 49er. I'm upset. Well, here comes Mr. Mascot. Here comes the one-man WWE Federation. Here comes the one-man circus and funny T-shirts and the right attitude and an awesome teammate and exactly what and who the 49ers need right now. George Kittle, come on down. He's exactly the penicillin that this team needs right now. I'm excited that George Kittle's coming back. He adds fun, and I'm not sure how much fun anybody is having. Look good, feel good, play good? Well, the Niners aren't playing good. They do look good. And I think George Kittle is going to help them feel a little bit better about themselves because that's just the kind of guy that Kittle is. It's great having you in here. Please hit like and subscribe. Look at all the regulars, all the nice people in the chat. Oh, my goodness. We got Red Jet. We got Leslie. We got Erwin. We got John. We got everybody. Corporal Tez, all the regs. Kenny is in here. We got some supers to get to. We got the Tuba Sun God, who wants everyone to know that you can never have too much cowbell. Again, George Kittle is coming in here going, lots of cowbell coming from George. Chef A, great to see you. My man, Erwin. Oh, I mean, come on. Let's go 12 personnel. Let's go ahead. Let's go run 12 personnel at him. Kittle and Tungus. Here's the thing. You can have Jake out in Kittle's pattern and leave Kittle to block on an offensive line that could use the help. Yeah, don't have a lot of confidence in the D-line and linebackers' ability to contain Robinson with all the injuries, man. Dude, Bijan Robinson could go for 250 yards against the 49ers. They really could. He could. He's good. Drake London, again, it's happening. It's starting to happen. Penix, it's starting to happen. Falcons defense starting to happen a little bit. They're turning a corner, it looks like. So big game on Sunday night. Again, the perfect time for Georgie to be back in the room. Let's see some supers here. What do we got? Fuji says, is Moody the savior of the Bears? Will he join the all-time Bears like Sayers, Butkus, Piccolo, Peyton, Singletary, Dant, Hampton, Mongo, Urlacher, Ditka? Oh, Moody's already on the list. I mean, there you go. We don't even need to have Kevin Butler memories anymore. We don't need to even pretend Robbie Gold ever played. It's Jake Moody's franchise, basically. They're going to scrub the GHS or GSH for George Sherman Hallis right off the sleeve and just write Moody. Guy made 4 kicks. He made the game winner. Everyone's got jokes. You know what? Jake Moody, he remains in my football life. He might be out of yours, but he remains in mine because he's a Bear now. And, of course, there was one blocked kick. So even as you're getting great Jake Moody, you still have one problem because that's just part of the Moody experience. Look, I'm happy for the guy. I never rooted against Jake Moody. I wanted it to work out for him. It didn't. Change of scenery can be good for the guy. Let's see. It was a rainy, miserable night in D.C., and he kicked, 4 of his 5 went through. What's more amazing about this is the Bears and Commanders have started 2 games in a row with the same 2 quarterbacks. And these are 2 of the most star-struck, or I should say, star-crossed franchises when it comes to, hey, we finally got a quarterback who's going to play multiple years in a row for us. It is a revolving door in Chicago at all times, and maybe with Caleb Williams it won't be. No guarantees. Jaden Daniels already feels like he is guaranteeing some pretty good quarterback play in D.C. going forward. Last night, Bears and Commanders featuring Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels marked the first time that both teams had the same starting quarterbacks in back-to-back matchups since 1997, going back nearly 30 years to find a Chicago-Washington game where the same 2 guys were starting consecutive games at quarterback. Both. If that doesn't just show you how QB blind those franchises have been, nothing else will. But Fuji, yes, Jake Moody, I would say he's back in my life, but technically he is he's never missed it. He's never left my life. Damon, with IU football surging, how much pressure is there on IU basketball to deliver? Thank you for asking a very Hoosier-centered question. Basketball no longer the darling program. I'm going to tell you, it's going to take 10 wins in a row for everyone to remember that Indiana is indeed a football school, or a basketball school. The basketball will always be the soul of what's happening in Bloomington. I'm glad that we have a football program. I would have traded a national championship. I'd go back to 4 national championships to just be Iowa in football, just be respectable. We are that now. Some would even say we should be the number 1 team in America. Look, go Hoosiers, baby. Go Hoosiers. There is pressure on this basketball team. A lot of it. You know, it's one thing to play keep up with the Joneses. It's another thing to be the Joneses that you're trying to actually keep up with. Mike Baker says we have over $100 million on injured player contracts out right now. This sucks, but I still think we make the playoffs this year. Let's go Niners. Mike, I do too. Look, you can say the 49ers are cooked. Well, do you mean winning a Super Bowl cooked? Yeah, probably. I mean, even with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, the odds of, hey, congratulations, you're definitely going to be winning the Super Bowl, those are long odds to begin with. So, you know, they're not in better shape before the injuries, but dude, they're not cooked. Have you watched football this year? Have you seen the one team that you are absolutely 100% sure there is no way the 49ers could ever beat that team? I haven't seen that team. I haven't seen one dominant football thought over a month from anybody. I've seen a couple of really impressive Packers games. I've seen them lose. I've seen some better performances out of the Kansas City Chiefs. I've seen them lose. I was told the Buffalo Bills, it's going to be their year finally. They lost to the Falcons last night. Let me tell you, this Rams team is going to be something when the year is over. Okay, Niners have already beaten them. The Seahawks team, okay, Niners have already beaten them. There is not a single perfect 10 out there in this league. Not one. Not one. So I don't think anything is over. We're still closer to the beginning of the football season than the end of it. So we got a long way to go. Don't tell me about anything being done in a football season before you've even gone trick-or-treating. Still a lot can happen. Thank you for putting it in the ganja jar, Mike, and thank you very much to Steve Sheridan. So many injuries, playoffs, yes, Super Bowl, I don't know, bang, bang. I mean, that's where I think where we were anyways. Playoffs, yes, Super Bowl, I don't know, bang, bang. I mean, that's perfect. That should really be the mantra of the year. Playoffs, yeah, yeah. Super Bowl, I don't know. Bang, bang. I mean, you keep on telling me you're the 49ers fan, right? You're the 49ers fan on this video. I mean, of course, I pulled for them. I want good things to happen for the team that I cover and the town that I live in and my kids are a fan of and everything. But I didn't grow up the 49ers fan. That was you. If I still believe in this team more than you and you're the Niner fan, ask how is that happening? Because nobody should be more skeptical. Nobody should be trying to run publicly with the message of what is definitively about to happen to this team more than me, right? Aren't I the person trying to look like I know what I'm talking about? Why do you keep on coming back to this channel, hitting like and subscribe? Because the guy who's on the channel claims to know what he's talking about. I think I do. I can't guarantee any outcomes over here. The Niners are not forfeiting the rest of this year. I promise you. I promise. It's entertainment, baby. Are you not entertained? Hopefully you're overtained by being here. Thank you so much for coming on back. Again, please hit like and subscribe. The channel is growing at a very good rate this week. We've got views up. I did a short of the Kansas City Chiefs-Lions fight that has gotten more views in a day than any other video I've ever posted. 200,000 views of a short in just about a day's time. Thank you very much, Kansas City Chiefs. By the way, we do have a little NFL news. First of all, I just saw something that was so funny this week. I have to share it with you. I have to share this with you guys. So I don't know if you know this or not, but the Kansas City Chiefs had a penalty-free win over the Detroit Lions. Penalty-free win over the Detroit Lions. If you're wondering why the Detroit Lions were so pissed off at the end of that game, I'm sure that was a part of it. By the way, hold on. Let me just bring this up. Hold on. Sorry, I should have had this before the show started. Pardon me. Let me get my act together here. All right. Here we go. I cannot, I will not be.
Hey, man, good game.
Copywriting myself here. Here is the short that has gotten this buzz. Let me show this to you.
Tries to be classy, play it off, taps the shoulder pad. Schuster's like, nah, man, that's a bad blood tonight at Arrowhead. First of all, Chiefs put it on the Lions. That's where it started. But it also started here. Mahomes, after the game, DeBranch is like, hey, man, good game. Gets totally left hanging. Oh, Mahomes tries to be classy, play it off, taps the shoulder pad. Schuster's like, nah, man, that's a punk move. And Branch was like, punk move? No, that's a punk move. And so now we got ourselves just good old-fashioned no you didn't after a football game, and you got to love it. Look at this. Just a bad blood spilling over. Here we go. Bad blood.
All right. So that video is doing very, very well for me right now on YouTube. Everybody likes a fight. Everybody likes Chiefs, Lions losing their cool. So Chiefs beat the Lions badly in that game. Again, the week before, you got Kansas City losing to Jacksonville, where they were called for 13 penalties in Jacksonville in a road loss. They come home and miraculously Andy Reid was able to clean everything up, and it was a penalty-free win over the Detroit Lions. Penalty-free win. Since 2019, only 12 times has a team played a penalty-free game in the NFL. That's over 1,600 games. Remarkably, this is the third time that the Chiefs have done it during that stretch. So, you know, the whole officials favor the Kansas City Chiefs thing, again, that argument doesn't lose steam with a game like that. Anyways, the internet has zero chill, and this made me laugh this weekend. It's Patrick Mahomes loving on the ref, getting caught at the Coldplay concert. Isn't that great? That made me laugh when I saw that this morning. Patrick Mahomes loving the refs. Penalty-free Kansas City Chiefs. Those sons of bitches. Meanwhile, the 49ers would just like to be wheelchair free for a single game. There you go. I thought that was pretty good when I saw that. There is one other thing that I'm going to share with you here in just a second. But again, we got some other NFL news to talk about, and that is the Tennessee Titans have basically just told, Cam Ward, you're kind of screwed, buddy. Sucks to be you, Cam Ward. Imagine coming into a league where you have to learn an entire language and you're looking for a coach to lead you and get you acclimated into the league. And Brian Callahan has gone in about 20-ish games. Tennessee cut their coach 6 games into season 2, 1-5 this year, 4-19 overall for Brian Callahan. He is out. And Mike McCoy, formerly of your San Diego Chargers, where he was 27-37 when he was at the helm of the Chargers from 2013 to 16. Mike McCoy is taking over in Tennessee. Again, Cam Ward, sucks to be you, dude. The chances of you actually making it in this league, in this one, look, the odds were against you anyways. Now that you're having a head coach fired 6 games into your rookie year, they're even longer. That shadow grows longer. So, Tennessee, a mess. Kansas City playing perfectly. Jake Moody winning Monday Night Football games in Chicago. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What else we got? Oh, you know what? Let me tell you about this. Because I'm all for transparency. You cannot have the "this is my transparency" press conference while you're bullshitting me. And that has happened in Happy Valley. We have not talked much about James Franklin getting fired by Penn State. It's kind of remarkable. I mean, the fall from grace is staggering compared to where Penn State was 3 weeks ago and where they are today. So let me just play the video for you. Let me play this video for you. This is Penn State's athletic director, who, by the way, is an Indiana University graduate. This guy's name, he's not a kid anymore. He's a grown man. He was Pat Kraft. Pat Kraft graduated from IU. He started in Indiana's athletic department. He was an associate athletic director. Then he went on to be the AD at Temple. At Temple, he had Matt Rule. Matt Rule was a very good coach at Temple. That's how he got the Nebraska job. Well, actually, there was a stop in the NFL on the way to that Nebraska job for Matt Rule in Carolina. Didn't work out. But this is why Matt Rule is now being linked to this Penn State job, along with the fact that Matt Rule is a Penn State alum. He was a guy that Pat Kraft had employed before he became the athletic director of Penn State. So Penn State fires James Franklin, and Pat Kraft, who's a good AD, and he knows football is his lifeblood. And, you know, last season, by the way, just so you know, well, hold on. Let me play this for you, and then I'll tell you about where Penn State finished last year so you can understand a little bit more about what indeed is going on. Let me bring this to you. This won't take long. It's about him. We won't play the whole thing. But this is Penn State's athletic director talking about, how he is. Look, it's a tough moment, right? It's a tough moment. He didn't want to be here firing his coach, but here he is, and he's trying to explain it all away. This is the explanation as to why James Franklin got fired. In an attempt for transparency, let's just put our cards at the table here, everybody.
Rich, I appreciate that. I'm going to be very transparent with y'all. This was extremely, extremely difficult. It's been a very difficult 48 hours. I felt after Saturday and sitting down and looking at everything that where we were and what was in the best interest of my kids, my student athletes, and my kids, meaning you guys know I call our athletes kids, my kids, and where the program was going. At this time, we just had to make the hard decision. And look, as all of you know, as leaders, when you lead an organization like this, when you've made the decision, you have to make the decision with a whole.
All right, so that's it. So he's basically saying, tough decision, but it's not about just what happened in the last 3 weeks. It's the overall direction of the program. And again, he even says he just wants to be transparent. Well, you're going to have to get the bullshit out of your transparency press conference, because last season, Penn State lost to national runner-up Notre Dame in the college football playoffs. So Penn State was in the first ever college football playoffs and was eliminated, just like my Hoosiers, when they played Notre Dame And Notre Dame was good enough to go to and meet Ohio State in the national championship game. So just last year, you're in the college football playoffs. All right. Well, where did this year begin? This year began with huge expectations for Penn State. 3 weeks ago, Penn State is the number 3rd ranked team in the country, hosting Oregon for the whiteout, which James Franklin is on College Game Day saying that we are the premier atmosphere in college football. There is no greater stadium than Beaver Stadium during a whiteout. Penn State is back, baby. And everyone was going like, yeah, he might be right about this. Even though James Franklin cannot win that big game pretty much ever, it does kind of look and feel like Penn State is back. I mean, they're a top 5 team. They're hosting this huge game. Here's Oregon, and they're in double overtime. They're in double overtime with one of the best teams in the country. And in James Franklin fashion, he lets go of the rope, and Penn State loses. Again, Kirk Cignetti has as many wins this month over top 10 teams as James Franklin has in a decade. But that's who James Franklin is. James Franklin never, ever, ever wins the big game. But we all knew that. We knew that going into this game. We knew it at the end of last year. We knew it coming into this year. When it comes time to win the one big game that'll change it all, James Franklin does not win that game, and that happened again. And then what happened? He loses in double overtime to Oregon. Then Penn State gets absolutely shell-shocked and ambushed in front of like 800 people at the Rose Bowl as an 0-4 UCLA team beats Penn State. Well, that's not good, James. Not only did you just dump a massive home game, but then you go and lose in this you cannot lose it situation. So now it's just about getting the toothpaste back in the tube. And the good news for you is that you've got a homecoming game against Northwestern. James Franklin loses that. And then he gets fired. And Pat Kraft wants to tell me that it's not about a 3-game sample size. Bullshit, Pat. Bullshit. The only reason why James Franklin is out today is because of this 3-game sample size. He was good enough to be your head coach. He was good enough to be the top 10, the coach of a top 5 team 3 weeks ago. And now he's gone. And you're going to say it's because of the overall arc of the program? Bullshit. If you look at the overall arc of the program is the only thing that would have saved James Franklin's job. This is purely a coach getting fired for an inexcusable, unjustifiable 3-game losing streak that did start with the loss that everyone can kind of justify, look at, be disappointed in. But you can understand, did you lose in double overtime to Oregon? Yes, we did. Okay, in the history of college football crimes, that is not the worst crime I've ever heard of. There's a lot of teams that I'm guessing lose in double overtime to Oregon. But then what did you do at UCLA? Oh, you became the first top 10 team to ever lose to an 0-4 team. And then you come home for at least the safe harbor that is a homecoming game against Northwestern to kind of get this thing back on the track, and you dump that, and that's why you are gone. I don't mean to make light of it, because what happened at Penn State is the single most horrific sports story I've ever had attached to sports, with what happened to Jerry Sandusky and those little kids, and it was awful. These past 3 weeks, I'm not saying it's as bad as that, because nothing will ever be as bad as that. But it's as bad a 3 weeks that Penn State has had since the name Jerry Sandusky became synonymous with all that is wrong with child molestation. So, Pat Kraft, I like you. But you have 100% fired your coach over a 3-week sample size, nothing else. Don't bullshit us. Don't bullshit me in your transparency press conference. Cannot happen. By the way, banged up Niner game. Banged Niner gang. Oy, oy, oy! Thank you, Postman. Yeah, they're banged up, man. No doubt. Okay. I showed you the Pat Mahomes hugging the ref thing. I showed you the Pat Kraft video. The only thing I have left to tell you about today, basically. Oh no, wait. There is one other thing. We have a very, very special segment coming up later in this show. We've never done it before, but we're going to have mail time. We got mail time. You'll never guess who this is from. I have scratched out. I have negated anyone's address for privacy. But I'll tell you who's got a little mail time coming up here in just a second. But first, did you know that we are 1 week away from Warriors basketball? 1 week away. 1 week away from Warriors basketball. Next Tuesday night, it is. Here's what I do know, I think, about the Warriors this year. I think when they're fresh, I think when they're rested, I think when they're uninjured and have their legs underneath them, I think the Warriors are going to be one of the top 5-8 teams in the entire league for sure. I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a weird year. And when it's over, it's not going to end the way you want it to. Because here's what's going to happen. I think when fresh and running and humming, the Warriors are going to be really good. They're going to trick you. They're going to get you excited. You are going to be talking about how there could be one more left in the Warriors this year. And I bet you they open with a really good 20 to 30 game run. I'll bet you at the beginning of the year, they are good, as most veteran teams tend to be, because while everyone is sort of meeting and figuring everybody out and who we're going to be and all these new moving pieces, the Warriors know who they are. There's not a lot of new moving pieces in the room. So all these guys have played together. They're familiar with each other in many, many ways. I like Horford. I think there's going to be more reasons to like the year that Kuminga's given the Warriors than dislike it. I think it's going to be, I think some basketball normalcy is going to come back to the Warriors, and we're going to like what we see. I'm very excited about Trace Jackson Davis's year. I'm very excited about Quentin Post's year. What are these guys going to look like? They are going to go and play huge roles into what this year really looks like for the Warriors. They don't have much size. If these two guys with size can go out and be out on the court and really give the Warriors what they need, I mean, that's going to help things an awful lot. Again, I like Horford. He's no spring chicken. And that's the problem. Because I do think you're going to see good basketball. I think you're going to see smart basketball. I think you're going to see efficient basketball. And then somebody's going to roll an ankle and somebody's age is going to start showing. And we're going to be 50 games into the year. And everybody's a little bit tired because Team Grandpa looks around and sees younger, faster everywhere. And in the NBA, more than any other sport, youth will be served. I think the Warriors are going to be better in November than they will be in March. I think as the year goes along, the worse the Warriors get. And in, a war of attrition could come down hard on the Golden State Warriors. I think they're going to win 50-ish games, but then be so out of gas winning those 50-ish games that they're in a little bit of trouble. We'll see. It starts in 1 week, a week from tonight. Indigo says, Al Horford is Chris Paul 2.0. No, Al Horford's a champion. Al Horford has won a championship. He is not Chris Paul 2.0. There's a guy there who actually knows what winning a ring is all about. Chris Paul has only heard stories. Very good player, significant player. Damon, what happened to Giants talk? Same thing that happened to the season. It's over. So Damon is saying the Warriors will win the NBA Cup. It could be that's where this year might top out. The Warriors are your mid-season tournament champions. This is more correct. Russell Westbrook is Chris Paul 2.0. I would agree with that, Christopher. That's probably a little bit more. And yeah, if you want to know about youth being served, there you go. By the way, we have here, just because you have won a championship doesn't make you great. Well, I think Al Horford's a really good player. I think he's a championship piece. I don't know if he's going to win a championship with the Warriors at this age. But literally, if you do win a championship, you do get to say for a year, we were the best, which does make you great. But yeah, great individually. Nobody's taken Al Horford over, suppose Shaquille O'Neal has won 0 rings and Al Horford has got 1 and you're drafting between the two. You're taking Shaq. I mean, I get it. Christopher wants to throw in a Donskoy just for the hell of it. Yeah, why not? Jillian and I were actually looking at some Sharks games on the schedule because the boys really want to go down. Believe it or not, Jillian's never even been to an NHL game. I got to tell you, this year I'm bringing the Bruces to the tank. We were looking. What we really need is like a matinee start on a Saturday. We're looking for a matinee start on a Saturday, which really limits the amount of options I got. But we're definitely going to be going to a Sharks game this year. Can't wait to bring the boys down. I know right now, Ozzy's favorite part of it is going to be when the shark head comes out of the ceiling and the hockey players skate out of it. He is going to love that. My 4-year-old loves sharks. We are 1 week away from basketball. And by the way, there's plenty of evidence in the world right now that America has lost its standing as a superpower. And I'm not here to talk about why or who is solely almost responsible for that. I'm not doing that. Because it's really the NBA's fault. Look at this, by the way. Every single line, every single row is a decade. So the NBA started in 1956? So those are the 4 years of the 50s right there. American MVP. It was hardly an international game until the 1990s. Do you see that one Nigerian flag in the middle of the 1990s? That's Hakeem Olajuwon. We go to the 2000s. MVPs are American until you get 2 Canadian MVPs, both of them Steve Nash's, and then Dirk, the big German, is a 3rd consecutive foreign-born NBA MVP. Then we get into the 2000s. We got a lot of LeBrons. We got a lot of Currys there. We got everything is fine until Giannis realizes his potential in the final year of the aughts. And look at Giannis. Giannis back to back, then Joker back to back, then Embiid, then Jokic again, and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another Canadian, coming in. This is your list of MVP winners by the decade. And if you would like to see American exceptionalism slipping away, all you need to do is look at that right there. America dominated. Hakeem Olajuwon 1 year, Steve Nash a little bit, but it was really an awful lot of Amari Stoudemire throwing down lobs that did some heavy lifting in Nash's year there. And if it were up to any defensive consideration, Nash is maybe among the worst MVPs of all time. Steve Nash didn't play a lick or a heartbeat of defense, but an offensive mastermind for sure. Look at that, though. Look at that. Look at the American exceptionalism just dwindling away. We need Steph Curry. We need LeBron James. We need Anthony Edwards. We need somebody. We need somebody with a little red, white, and blue coursing in their veins to correct that. Now, maybe that somebody is close to this somebody. Let me kind of get you without screwing up there. Oh, no, the white balance one. I got this letter delivered. There's only one man in the history of the Bay Area who works in the world of sports who sends me letters. Oh, my. Tim Roy. Tim Roy has been cleaning out his closet. Tim Roy's been cleaning out the garage. And whenever Tim Roy starts cleaning out his garage, his attic, his closet, he finds old boxes of Sports Illustrated, which, like any man who finds an old box of Sports Illustrateds, you start flipping through the issues. Whenever there is something about Indiana or Bob Knight or the 1985 Chicago Bears that Tim Roy finds, he takes it out and he mails it to me. So let's see what Tim Roy has mailed me. I'm opening this right now. I haven't opened this. I sure hope it's not a cease and desist. I sure hope it's nothing to do with anything I've done wrong. Nope, it's not. Oh, so this is not about Bob Knight. It's the opposite of Bob Knight, but Tim knows how much of a college basketball junkie I am. The profile on Dean Smith. Tim Roy has sent me a Sports Illustrated profile on. Oh, no, wait a minute. So Dean Smith and Bob Knight talking about how they're different styles. There's always Bob Knight involved. Tim Roy's not sending it to me unless Bobby's involved. So there you go. Tim Roy sending me Bob Knight, Dean Smith, and a letter. Let's see what Tim wrote. But on Warrior Stationery, old Warrior Stationery. Damon, I hope this finds you and your family well. Yes, the purge of my garage continues. I enjoyed this article, and I hope you do. Please enjoy the vintage Warrior Stationery as well. Tim Roy with a hand letter. Enjoy the vintage Warrior Stationery. He knows how much I will and how much I did, and it's a great time out. And I freaking love Tim Roy. I love that when something happens to Indiana, people think of me. Whether it be a football, a basketball, anything, Bob Knight article. Fantastic. By the way, I think holding up the Tim Roy envelope screwed up with my pixelation, and my computer's getting a little ugly. Are we not as clean as we were in the video when this video started? Terribly sorry about that. But thanks so much to Tim for thinking of me and sending that. Thanks so much to American Exceptionalism slipping away from the NBA. We shared that interesting graphic. Thanks so much to Pat Kraft. But again, if you want to be transparent, don't bullshit me. The only reason why James Franklin isn't here is because of the last 3 weeks. The overall picture would have been the only thing that kept him here. Don't bullshit a bullshitter. Oh, hey, we got game 2 of the NLCS tonight, by the way. Dodgers lead the Brewers 1-0 in the series. Yamamoto versus Peralta, and Blake Snell might have won the series for the Dodgers last night. Because the Dodgers, I don't know if they got the same kind of pitching Milwaukee does, but Blake Snell saved that bullpen last night. He really did. Would he give him 8? Oh, man, Snell was great. That's going to go a long way. That game 1 yeoman's-like work from Blake Snell might deliver this series to the Dodgers. It was probably going to happen anyway. Meanwhile, Seattle took 2 in Toronto. Game 3 of the NLCS tomorrow night back in Seattle, and Mariners fans are going to be delirious. They really are. You know what? Let the Mariners win the World Series. Let it happen. I'd rather the Mariners win over the Blue Jays, over the Brewers, and certainly over the Dodgers, even though I do love Shohei. I think I'm officially on the big dumper Mariners bandwagon. Yeah, that's where it goes. Go Mariners. Yeah, by the way, Smiley Dan, you see the Doug Eddings report card for game 2? He missed a ton of calls. He's been awful. And the officiating, the home plate umpiring, balls and strikes alone this year is all the argument that ABS needs, or the automatic balls and strikes system that is going to be coming into baseball next year. Bring it in. I used to be the kind of guy who argued for human error. No, that's a little bit too much human error for my taste. Bring in the balls and strikes. Bring in the freaking computer. Buffs Suck says, what week does CMC go down this year? He can't. This is now a non-negotiable. If he does, that's the week the Niners are cooked. If you're looking for what week was the cooking really done, let CMC go down. That'll be the week. All right. Are you ready for a little today in history today? Here we go. We always start with our birthdays. See that? I always like polo because I think they fit me well. If you spend twice the price on a Ralph Lauren polo t-shirt, it will last twice as long as the not nearly as expensive just t-shirt. They hold really well. I'm a Ralph Lauren guy without being stylish at all. Happy 86th birthday to Ralph Lauren. You're 86 years old. Pop your collars on those polo shirts, everybody. Happy 58th birthday to Stephen A. Smith. There's nobody getting paid more to talk sports in America than that guy. And on that alone, I have to respect the game. Stephen A., 58 years old. Cheers. Usher, 47 years old. Take that, rewind it back. Usher got the sound, make the booty go. That was a good song. Take that, rewind it back. Little John and Usher, make the booty go. Clap. Usher is 47. I wonder how old his herpes are. That's wrong. You shouldn't get a shot like that taken on your birthday. Happy birthday to comedian Jay Farrow. He turns 37 years old. He was on Saturday Night Live. He came in to actually and did an appearance with me in studio many, many years ago when he had just reached Saturday Night Live. Really, really nice guy. I've been rooting for Jay Farrow as a comedian ever since the day I met him. By the way, happy 31st birthday to California Golden Bear and Los Angeles Rams alumni, Jared Goff, now with the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff playing really good football at the age of 31. Today in 1926, Winnie the Pooh was first published. I've never liked Winnie the Pooh. We were just talking about this. I bet you if you were a big Winnie the Pooh fan, you're kind of a pussy. It's okay. It's who you are, if that appeals to you. But Winnie the Pooh is just, I don't know, too droopy for me. Today in 1908, the Chicago Cubs beat the Tigers, winning the World Series. And 1908 was all Chicago had for so many years on the north side. 1908. I grew up with 1908 so emblazoned into my psyche. When the Cubs won it all in 2016, it was like an exorcism had been performed. God, it felt good. We will get back to the Chicago Cubs later in Today in History. But today in 1912, as if there were any doubt who the toughest president of all time is, that was the president of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt was a badass. Speak softly, carry a big stick, the Rough Riders. Badass, man. Teddy bear. You wouldn't think it was such a bad... This guy today in 1912 was shot and mildly wounded and went on with a scheduled speech with a fresh gunshot wound and a bullet still in his chest. He's like, forget about the concept of infection. I got a speech to make. I'm Teddy Roosevelt. It doesn't matter that I have a bullet wound. Teddy Roosevelt, really, when you think about it, the Ricky Pearsall of U.S. presidents. Today in 1947, Captain Chuck Yeager in the Bell X-1 rocket-powered experimental aircraft broke the speed of sound over the desert in California, Southern California. Today, Chuck Yeager, big scene, by the way, in The Right Moves. This is a big scene. Chuck Yeager broke the speed of sound today in 1947. Today in 1972, young grasshopper, Kung Fu premiered on ABC. David Carradine stopped doing enough LSD and mushrooms to film episodes that was Kung Fu. David Carradine would go on to, of course, become take that character like a step further as Kill Bill. Today in 1978, Jimmy Carter helped launch the craft beer revolution when he removed taxes for beer being brewed at home for personal consumption. So there you go. Jimmy Carter, 1978, said you can brew your own. And America did. The opposite of that would be today in 1982, Ronald Reagan proclaimed a war on drugs. Well, Jimmy claimed an Ollie Oxenfree on brewing your own beer. Ronald Reagan declared a war on drugs. And I'm just here to tell you definitively, drugs won. Drugs kicked a crazy amount of ass in that war and won decisively. I'm not saying I'm rooting for drugs. I'm not here to tell you I'm rooting against drugs. But certainly tonight in 2003, I needed drugs. I needed drugs tonight in 2023. And after this moment, I self-medicated. Tonight in 2003, Steve Bartman, Game 6, National League Championship Series, Cubs, Florida Marlins, Moises Alou, Steve Bartman. That poor guy had to leave Chicago after he got his hands on that foul ball. Poor Steve Bartman. I felt bad for him in real time. I still feel bad for him today. Anyone who says they would not have caught that ball is a fucking liar. Anyone. You would have caught the ball. Today in 2007, one of the worst days for women in the United States history. Today in 2007, Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered on E! A generation of women have been raised with that affected Kardashian speech, and it's just awful, and they're a bunch of consumption whores, and the world is a worse place for having the Kardashians be a part of it. More entertaining, easier to laugh at, sure. But a worse place, a dumber place, a less cultured place, thanks to these Kardashian sluts. And I understand they're all very, wealthy and claim to be smart business women. Yeah, it all started with Ray J coming all over one of their backs. So I don't think it's that impressive, to be totally honest. And there you go. There's today in history. We'll end on that. No, actually, you know what? I'll tell you. Today in 2012, this is when Endeavor got to L.A. and had to go to the California Space Center and had to take the space shuttle went down frickin' Pico Boulevard in LA, and they had to take down traffic signs and all that and cut down trees so the space shuttle could go down frickin' LaGuardia or whatever that would. No, that's not LaGuardia. It's an airport in New York. Sorry. Well, that's actually in New Jersey. Or that's actually on Long Island. Anyway, that's it. Just wrap up the show. Damon, wrap it up. Go enjoy this Tim Roy, Bobby Knight, Dean Smith article and this Warrior vintage stationery that Tim Roy wrote to you on. Thank you for being here. Always great to see you. Did we miss any more supers? What do we got? Oh, yeah. We got them all in today. Thank you to everyone for supporting what we're doing over here. Thank you. You are awesome for being here. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell an enemy about Damon Bruce Plus. Tell me that you're going to Ike's for lunch, certainly by the 31st. Help him celebrate those 18 years. Ike, now legal, baby. Ike, turning 18 on Halloween. Awesome stuff. Make sure you join that Love Rewards program. When you sign up, you start earning your way towards free sandwiches, and you'll be very, very happy that you did. Get yourself to the Dubliner in West Portal. Love those guys. Say hi to Kenny and John, and hopefully we will see you at the Dubliner soon. I mean, you walk in there, you might bump into somebody who's in this chat room right now. Smiley Dan, I'm looking at you. You're usually a culprit. Let's see. Our friends at Sleeper. You want to make a play on tonight's Dodgers Brewers Game 2 NLCS? Head on over to Sleeper. Use promo code Damon. It's in the link in the top of the description of today's live stream. Use promo code DAMON and get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Use no promo code at all. And you get a $20 free entry right now over on Sleeper. It's just waiting for you. All you got to do is claim it. Thank you very, very much for claiming some plus in your life. It is wonderful to have you here. We could not do it without you. We would not do it without you. And hit like and subscribe. Thank you. We'll be back 11 a.m. on Wednesday. A day closer to the Warriors season tipping off. I mean, that's crazy. Dude, Steph Curry and the Warriors. Look, the Warriors themselves might be frustrating. Steph Curry is one of the single greatest sports points of light and joy in my life. I cannot wait until I have Steph Curry back hitting threes on my TV almost every night. That's going to make me happy. I think it's going to make you happy too. Thank you so much for being here. Please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.